Why, hello there, everybody, and welcome to ReactionLand. I'm your host, John Marshall.
Yes.
If you're
Yeah.
new to the channel, please remember to like and subscribe. Go ahead and smack that bell to be notified of future upcoming episodes. Welcome to ReactionLand. Before I introduce my special guest today, I'd like to show you a highlight reel showcasing his magnificent career. Here we go.
I don't get it.
Watch this.
Ryan, what are you doing?
There you are. 3 years of hard work.
A mechanical watchdog.
Valerie Bertinelli, star of a TV comedy One Day at a Time.
Yes.
Wesley Eure.
Like sands through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives.
Oh, that was close.
Again,
I wonder why he's so grumpy.
it's not that he's so grumpy, but he's got to eat to survive.
Yeah, he doesn't care what or who he eats.
I want to go home.
We all do, honey.
We don't even know where we are.
I don't know how we got here or why, but I think we're in another world.
What makes you say that, Dad?
Well, because last night I saw 3 moons in the sky.
3 moons?
But how, Dad?
Well, I think it must have happened when we went over the waterfall. Remember how it never seemed to end? Just like it seemed to fall through a hole in space.
Well, then we may never get home.
No, I wouldn't say that. If there's a way in here, there's got to be a
Rice
way out.
Krispies, Rat Krispies, got the
Rice.
R
Oh,
in,
the
you
R.
see?
You get the R in there. Very clever, Wesley. You blew
Didn't
it.
win her.
We got 3 apartments, 1 forced entry.
What if he didn't con his way in? What if he didn't have to?
Joining me in the virtual studio today is a gentleman whom has recently returned from the lost, but occasionally likes to go back. Please welcome to the show the one and only Wesley Eure. Good morning, Wesley.
Good morning. Run, Holly, run. There's a sleeve stack.
Oh my gosh.
That was my entire performance on Land of the Lost.
Man, that is incredible. Emmy award-winning stuff there.
You know, I started at the American Shakespeare Festival at Stratford playing Ariel in The Tempest. And then my next job was run, Holly, run.
Oh man, legends to live by. So how old were you when you first got into the acting gig?
Well, I played an oak tree at the age of 5 in Hattiesburg, Mississippi at a school play.
Okay. And from there,
And I got the bug, you know. Listen, my dad left when I was 2, never came back. I'm in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Everybody's an educator, and I think I just needed I needed attention. You know, I think we're all attracted in professions to things we actually need in our life, and I think that's probably why I'm such a ham.
wow. So your dad went out for a pack of smokes and never came back. Son of a gun.
Exactly.
What the hell?
Exactly. Wait. Oh, somebody's at my door. Hold on a second.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Holly, run.
Run, Holly. Come here. Who are you? Come here. Come here. Come here. Come. Look.
Well,
No way.
what's happening today?
Oh my God. It is Holly.
It's
Run,
Holly.
Holly. Wow.
I was just
How
in the
are
neighborhood
you?
getting something to eat, you know. That dang dopey's got me hooked on these things.
Oh man, I thought you were gonna say Chaka got you got you hooked.
No, it's dopey, you know.
Giant strawberries.
Man, this throws my whole day off. I was just gonna talk about.
Well, you know, that's what we're here to do.
You know, Kathy, I live in Palm Springs, and Kathy moved to Palm Springs about 3 years ago. We're neighbors, and so you know, every once in a while my doorbell will ring, and there'll be a mocha frappuccino from Starbucks sitting outside.
Wow, man, when your doorbell rings, people show up.
Oh my God, yeah. Stallone will be here soon. Schwarzenegger, you know, everybody's
Man, the only thing coming to my door is my bills. Damn it.
I know. I had to tell Matthew McConaughey, just give me 5 minutes with him, and then you can.
I know,
have
and the
him."
only bill I get is Bill Shatner, but that's a whole nother story.
So anyway, Sid and Marty Krofft.
And of
Makes
course
you
they-
wonder what kind of drugs they were on when they came up with Puff and stuff. And
Certainly not these.
no, but I mean, they were creative, and you guys were a part of my childhood growing up.
John, so at Comic-Con in San Diego, the big granddaddy of the conventions, one year Sid finally it's packed and people are just with Sid and Marty are both there, and Sid goes, all right. I did inhale.
I've done that, man.
Had to have.
Lidsville, Puff and
He goes-
stuff, Land of the
he
Lost.
says he had to have.
Exactly.
Had
Come on,
to.
I think Sid said that he was on the beach, probably puffing away, and a big roll of seaweed came up on the beach, and that's where he got Sigmund. He goes, "Oh my God, that's Sigmund!"
I can see that. I
I can too, actually.
Absolutely, yeah.
Man, so all right, so let's go ahead and talk about Land of the Lost a little bit
Kathy
here.
decided to join us, and Kathy, thanks.
I love it.
and
That's
stuff like that.
great. What a surprise. 2 for 1, man. Winner, chicken dinner over
Get
here,
it while the
man.
getting's good.
Yeah, so you guys have been doing a lot of touring lately. So you guys have been really busy. How's that been going?
Good. We are so blessed that we get to travel from state to state and do these conventions and just interact with our fans. It's really, truly, this isn't just me saying it. It's from the bottom of both of our hearts. We really enjoy it. We have fun. We meet a lot of nice people, have great laughs.
Do you guys feel that you're actually more popular now than you were then because of reruns and what have you?
Well, Land of the Lost became NBC's #1 show, not just Saturday morning, but #1 show for a bit of time. It was so popular back then. But you're right, it's streaming now on 6 different services. It was written by the Star Trek writers. Our monsters were created by Mike Westmore, who created the Star Trek monsters. So our connection to Star Trek, I think, has elevated it with the scripts. Because the CGI, there was no CGI. It was all
right.
So it has the 70s look, but it's the scripts. The scripts by David Gerald, who Trouble with Tribbles, and Walter Koenig, Chekhov, and DC Fontana, all these amazing writers, created this amazing scripts. And David said that he told the writers at the time, we're not going to write a Saturday morning sci-fi show. We're going to write a sci-fi show that airs on Saturday morning.
Make it sound.
And in answer to that question, when we were working on the show, we had no idea who our audience was. We were just showing up. We were blasting through 2 episodes a week.
Right.
And we didn't really know how it was affecting people.
I had Butch Patrick on the show not too long ago, and we were talking about the filming schedules, and he said that for Lidsville, it wasn't so much episodes that they were filming as they just kept rolling. Was that something that they did with you guys as well, or it was specifically blocked and everything?
Because again, David Gerald, Star Trek writers, these were scripts with doorways and time doorways and matrices and doppelgangers, and Enoch discovering that the giant green sleeve stacks are not from his past, they're from his future. And that if civilization continues to go like it is and become hostile, they'll evolve into the sleeve stack. It was like, what? And this was the Saturday morning show for kids. Speaking of Butch, I just got off the phone with Butch. He just called. We were talking this morning. He's going around the country this summer, and he's putting on these amazing events at drive-in movie theaters, and bringing those back with car shows and showing old TV shows and things, and it was amazing. I was literally thinking, I'm on the phone with Butch Patrick. I'm a kid from Hattiesburg, Mississippi. How does this all happen? And we don't take this for granted.
So Holly, I had such a huge crush on you as a kid, of course.
How dare you?
Most of us did. Anywho,
John, we keep a nickel when we do these autograph shows. and I put a nickel between us. And every time somebody comes up to Kathy and goes, I had the biggest crush on you, I slide the nickel over. Because if I had a nickel for every time, and then somebody comes up and says they liked me, then she slides the nickel back over. So we just keep sliding that one nickel back and forth all.
That's horrible. I was hoping you were going to get rich or something on those things.
I got 35 cents one convention. I'm telling you.
Somebody did that to me. They said, "Oh, heck with the nickel," and they gave me like a quarter.
So what kind of star power was up against you guys when you were being auditioned for this Land of the Lost? What other actors were trying out for this besides yourselves that you know of?
For Wesley, none. It was just they picked him and just signed him. For me, there was talk that Jodie Foster was up for it, and she did go on auditions at the same time that I was going on auditions. I'm not positive about that, but I heard that at one time. I do know for myself, the week before I auditioned for Land of the Lost, I auditioned for another show with about 150 girls, and I didn't wind up getting it. It was down, they had narrowed it down to myself and Christy McNichol. And it was just one episode on a show called Run, Joe, Run. And Christy got it, and it was we got the news that she got it on Monday. It was filming on Wednesday. Wednesday was the day I auditioned for Land of the Lost. Had I got that show and been on the set filming that one episode, I'd have missed these 50 years of unbelievable awesomeness. And I can use that word gets used too much, but our life has really been awesome, and it deserves that title.
Well, Kathy and I are like best friends, and I've always said that Sid and Marty Krofft didn't just cast my TV family, but they gave me a real life family, including Spencer Milligan, who played our dad, and Phil Paley, who played Chaka. We are all, and well, Spencer passed away this past year, but I know Kathy talks to Phil Paley almost every day. He works for a law firm in Los Angeles.
And I used my fingerprint to get in your house today. So that's how close we are. I'm actually a fingerprint on his front door.
Oh my.
That is so cool, you guys.
But we do have a ball. You know, we do these, we started doing these conventions together, and Kathy came up with the idea of bringing a yellow raft, blowing it up with life jackets and oars. And like in the opening of the show, you know, of the theme song, oh my gosh. Did I sing the theme song, Kathy?
I think you did.
Did he?
Well, I think
there's been confusion about that. Was it really you?
You ready? Here you go. Marshall, Will, and Holly on a routine expedition. Let the greatest earthquake ever known. Oh, sure. Call me on it, right?
I've never heard him make a mistake.
I know. The greatest earthquake ever known. High on the rapids, it struck their tiny raft. And plunged them down 1,000 feet below to the land of the lost.
Yes.
Land of the lost. And then grumpy dinosaur goes, roar.
Oh, good times.
Call me on that. Yeah.
I've never heard you do that.
I don't know. I've never done that before.
Never heard him do it. Oh no.
I know when I said that. Oh God, I'm getting old. Oh geez, it started. But you immortalized my mistake.
That's the only way to do it.
We're gonna have problems if you start saying.
Just a really quick little story. You also played Michael Horton on Days of Our Lives.
I did.
And my Aunt Dottie worked for NBC mid-60s to early 70s. And she got me an audition for Days of Our Lives.
Yeah.
And the director specifically kept telling my mom, tell him not to look at the red light. Don't look at the red light when we're filming. First thing I had to do was look at the red light. So naturally, I didn't get the part. And of course, that was Michael Horton.
Oh my gosh, that's...
Yes. So damn it, it's the Michael Horton that never was.
Oh my God, John, I love this story.
That's
and you know who else was also up for it from Star Wars?
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill.
So it got down to Mark Hamill and myself. See,
there it is. Mark Hamill.
Little Mark Harmel.
Mark Harmel. Yes.
So it was just so between Mark and I, and I got it, and of course he went on and got to audition for Star Wars and got Star Wars. So fade in, fade out. Star Wars is a huge hit. It's opening up in Japan, and Jack Hertzberg, who's the producer of Days of Our Lives, goes to Japan for some reason. He was at the opening, and Mark comes up to Jack and says, "Hey, listen, tell Wesley hi." And Jack comes back and goes, "Hey, I was just in Japan for the opening of Star Wars, and Mark says to say hi." And I turned and I said, "You son of a..." I said, "If you ever hire me and give me a job on this soap opera so I miss out on the audition for Star Wars,
I'm going to call you Mark Harmel for the rest of my life."
See, I think you would have been great as Luke Skywalker.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. But what happened? Why didn't you get to audition for Star Wars?
I was on Days of Our Lives, and then I got Land of the Lost. I got right away. So I was filming both series. I would film Days of Our Lives in the morning, and because it was NBC and both shows were NBC, so they let me do all my scenes in the morning. And the cast of Days of Our Lives hated me because for 3 years I got to go in and film first and then leave because I had to go across town to Hollywood from Burbank into Hollywood to film Land of the Lost. So in the morning I'm crying that my girlfriend is leaving me, and the mafia is after me, and a wagon's fallen on my chest and crushed it. And I've discovered my father's not my father, he's really my uncle, because my uncle raped my mother years ago at the hospital. And then
another day.
Exactly. And in the afternoon, I'm going, "Run, Holly, run! There's a slee stack."
Makes that sound a little better. Running from Slee Stack.
Exactly.
Man, what a dangerous life you've lived, my friend.
Terrifying, yeah.
And let's briefly touch bases on Chomps. You were also in the movie Chomps via Valerie Bertinelli. What was that like back then?
It was fabulous.
I will be right back.
Okay.
I'm not leaving.
Yeah. I'm so sorry about the last time. Too much starch.
Yeah.
Oh no.
But Chomps was Hanna-Barbera. It was their first live action show, and it was everybody. It was Conrad Bain and Red Buttons and Jim Backus and all these amazing comedy stars. Brilliant. And Valerie was my girlfriend, and I got to give her her first big screen kiss. So I beat Eddie Van Halen out, and and Kathy actually, I think Kathy used to hang when they were, because back in Hollywood at the time, everybody knew each other. Like I knew all the teen idols back in my day, and Kathy knew all the child actresses and actors, and like Valerie. I think they all had the same agent, so they'd hang out together. Linda Blair and everybody. But Chomps was a lot of fun, and it was it was crazy. At the same time, I was doing another movie. I was playing the killer in the Toolbox Murders.
Oh no!
So I'm the killer in this movie. So one day, and they both came out at the same time. And so it was a rainy day in Hollywood, which is rare. And a bunch of my friends said, "Oh, let's go see one of your movies, at a theater." So we said, "Yeah." So we went to this movie on Hollywood Boulevard. It was one of those old movie houses that had seen its day. And it was like, I think it'd probably been a porn house at one point and back to a movie house. It was just sleazy. So nobody's in the theater, and we're sitting there, and it's raining. Everybody has coats on and jackets, and it's about 6 of my friends, and we're the only people there. And suddenly the movie starts, and it's Toolbox Murders, and it starts with stabbings and murders and all sorts of stuff. And I look, and everybody has their coats, their overcoats like this, hiding their faces. And Lisa, this girl that I was living with at the time, she turns to me and she goes, "I thought this was the Hanna-Barbera movie."
Hoping for Chomps tonight, huh? All right.
Exactly. Yeah.
Something a little more wholesome, I guess.
I was roller skating down in Venice Beach by myself. And back in the days in the late 70s and early 80s, it was pretty dangerous with the gangs. And there were signs that do not skate after dark. And I was skating by myself, and I wasn't paying any attention. And suddenly the lights are coming on, the street lights. I'm thinking, oh. And I look around, and I'm in an isolated area by myself, and I'm being surrounded by a whole bunch of guys, thinking, "Oh, geez, I've really done it." I mean, I was scared.
Out of your mind.
And this guy, I'm literally surrounded, and this guy comes skating up to me. They're on roller skates, and he goes, "You an actor?" And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Toolbox Murders?" I go, yeah. He goes, me no fuck with you, man. Me no fuck with you. He was so scared because of my role in Toolbox. And they became my friends. Every time I'd go roller skating at Venice Beach, I'd see this gang of guys. They'd see me. They'd come running over and said, "We're going to skate with you, Wesley. Nobody's going to bother you today."
Nice.
And so it's amazing. You never know the effect of things that you do in life, how the ripple effect will happen.
Why don't you quit kidding?
Who's kidding?
Why?
Keeping your cool is definitely a good thing, and don't start shouting colorful metaphors. Kind of save your life.
Exactly.
So, when Land of the Lost came to an end, were you guys aware that this was ending?
No. It was that, it was kind of the jumping the shark when Spencer left after the second season. And I went in and had to re-record the theme song because they had to be with Uncle Jack coming. And no, we had hoped there'd be a fourth season, but there wasn't. We get the dreaded phone call from the agent. They're not picking up the show. So no, we'd hoped that there would be.
That's a shame too, because I was an owner of a video store when Land of the Lost, the movie, came out. And when I saw that poster come through my clutches, I was like, oh dear God, no. And I mean, just seeing Will Ferrell, I mean, I like the guy as an actor, but I don't know. I just didn't get that vibe that I got from watching the series back in that day. And I mean, sure, the special effects could be improved upon. I mean, if you guys really wanted to do something fantastic, but I just felt that they made a mockery of the whole entire joke of it. And I know you guys did like a cameo scene, which even offends me to this day that they cut it out of the damn film. And it's like, what the hell was that for? What did they even put you guys together in a room for? But, after Cobra Kai came out, I began thinking to myself, there's something here that can be thought about in this area. Like, for instance, maybe a mini series of you guys actually reprising your roles and coming to face with your younger selves and ending what left as, up in the air. What happened to Will and Holly? What happened? Because nobody ever knew. You got to have closure.
Interesting you say that. Is that David Gerald, who was our head writer and Star Trek, worked, Troubles, and we were at Star Trek convention. Kathy and I do the big one at the Rio every year. We're doing it again in August. And David was saying he was in the middle of writing a new novel about Land of the Lost, and it's what happened 40 years later. And the premise was that we had a brother and sister that were babies, and that it's 40 years later. And we had a brother. I'm sorry, no, forgive me. We had a brother that was a little baby. He couldn't come on the raft ride with us. So all these years later, he's come to look for us, and he has two daughters, and they come into the Land of the Lost, and and we've all evolved. Like he said that I've gone crazy. I live in a cave and I'm a mad person. Kathy has kind of melded into the Land of the Lost and become the spirit of Land of the Lost. And Chaka is now head of the Pakuni tribes. And he was in the, he said he was about halfway finished with the novel. So I'm hoping that David will finish it. We're actually going to see David at the Star Trek convention again. But you're right. It missed out. I mean, Land of the Lost was a drama about a family. And Will Ferrell, who loved Land of the Lost, and Danny McBride, they couldn't have been nicer to us, but it wasn't Land of the Lost. It was, something else. And I think that's reflected in that they lost $200 million at Universal, $100 million in PR, $100 million in sales and stuff. And I think the head of Universal got fired over it. So it was a major fiasco. He said I had 16 pages of notes for the director. They didn't take one of the notes. He said, like, for instance, when the sleep deck arrived, the lights were bright. And he said, turn the lights down, turn them down. It's got to be scary. And they said, no, we spent all this money on the costumes. We want to see the costumes. We spent all this money on the costumes. We want to see the costumes. He goes, What's wrong with you guys?
Did I hear living legends?
Yes, living legends. I am not worthy.
She makes me do that all the time.
Oh,
I
man.
I don't at all.
She doesn't.
What's wrong with you people?
Closure would have been nice.
You know, there was people ask if we ever got back, and we did. There was at the end, the last episode of the first season, which David wrote with I think Bobin or one of the writers, in case there wasn't going to be a second season. So at the end of the first season's last episode, the Miss Doorway is going, we're at Enoch's cave, and it keeps repeating, Daddy, do something, you know, what's happening.
That's going over the waterfall over and over again.
And I go, Enoch, and he says, you know, Will Marshall, you know, you must go home. And I go, well, you mean we can go home? And we can go home. He says, no, you must go home. 3 must leave so 3 may enter. And what happens was there was a loop, and we had to, the Marshall family, the 3 of us had to walk through. I can
just hear you. You go, that's us.
That's us. That's us.
Yeah.
And we walk through the missed doorway, and we get back home, but our doppelgangers, our exact duplicates, come through the doorway again and starts all over again. So the end of that episode is us.
It's the beginning of it.
It's the beginning of and finding the cave and the dinosaurs. And Enoch has this beautiful speech at the end, which I mean, it's just beautiful. And that again is the writing, it's the sci-fi writing, which is why the show never talked down to kids. It always was a different level for kids than they ever seen on Saturday morning.
When the series came to an end, obviously you guys were very unaware it was coming. The gentleman who played your dad in the series, you said he recently passed. Why did he leave the show? What was it a merchandising thing?
It was a combo platter. He had approached the Crofts wanting to get just a tiny percentage of the product that they were selling about us, all the collectibles. And he wanted it for just a small percentage for all of us. He wasn't just going after it for himself.
Right.
There was some other issues going on simultaneously, and they gave him a flat no. And he said, you know what? I think I'm done here. And he walked.
Isn't that horrible?
I mean, I think they were so used to people like not walking that they didn't think he would do that, and he just went out of here.
Good for him.
And he has apologized up until his passing profusely, over and over. Every time I talked to him, it was like, I am so sorry that I left you guys. Yeah. He was a good man. He really was.
And he and Kathy were, up until he passed, they were like father and daughter. I mean, he was. We all of us were really connected on a different level, and we felt like a family. We still feel like a family, and it was a great loss when Spencer left.
Wow. Yeah.
But he lived a great life. He had a fabulous home with land and estate in Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin, and beautiful wife. And
he called his own shots.
Yeah.
That's the part of him that I admire, is that, you know, he lived his life his way, and what other way should you live your life?
I've got him. He would call me on the phone and go, "Hello, Wesley. This is your Papa speaking." And I mean, voices, and I mean, he just does the
like. He's very funny.
Did he attend any of your Comic Cons early on before he passed, or
just one?
Just one? Oh,
a big one that we did in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, because he lived in Sturgeon Bay, Wisconsin, which was about 4 hours from Milwaukee, and they brought him down and made sure that he was well taken care of. And he did this one thing that I'm an observer, and so I was watching him the whole time that he was with us. And he hung out with all of us in a group setting, and we all had a good time. And then I watched him go to each one of us individually and spend just that quality moment to let us each know what we meant to him, and just checking in, you know, like a health check on our life. And it was really very lovely. Like I said, he was a really good man. And we all had a very interesting personal relationship with him. And collectively, we had a wonderful family relationship to him.
Yep.
Sounds like a beautiful human being.
Yeah, he was.
And there's still talk about a reboot of Land of the Lost. It's in the ethers. So, and based on the original concept of our show. So that would be wonderful, and hopefully we'll be involved in it. And
yes,
but you know, it has legs. I mean, look at if you see the new poster for Jurassic Park, it looks. We've had more people comment. It looks like Land of the Lost. They're in a yellow raft going down the river. There's a dinosaur in the back, and it looks just like the opening of Land of the Lost.
It's a Tyrannosaurus Rex, and it looks like Grumpy.
Exactly.
Man, imagine the budget you guys would have had if you guys had that technology back then.
There was a big party afterwards. I mean, they spent thousands upon thousands of dollars, ice sculptures and catered, and hundreds of people and celebrities. And Phil and I are standing in the corner looking at all of this and all the props that they have and everything. And I said, you know, Phil, this party costs more than all 3 seasons of Land of the Lost. True.
Man, they know how to throw a party, damn it.
They do.
So, do you guys ever see any of your co-stars like Johnny Whitaker or Butch?
We were just in Nashville with him.
Yeah, just a show with Johnny and Butch, as I said, just got off the phone with Butch. Sid Croft, we were just in Palm Springs and Pasadena with Sid. We've got a couple more shows coming up, and you know, it's
and we even had one of our original Sleestacks do a pop-in visit.
Yeah, Bill Boyd, one of the original. He was a basketball player at UCLA, and Bill, if you're a Detroit Pistons fan, Bill Lambier of the Detroit Pistons, the bad boy of basketball, was a Sleestack back in his college day. And Kathy and I actually surprised him when we were in Las Vegas. He was coaching the Aces, the women's basketball team, and we showed up, and he didn't know we were coming. But all the women in the basketball team, they had an 8x10 of a Sleestack, and they'd hidden it. And we walk in, and they hold it above their heads. And he's 7 feet tall. He's looking around, going, "What the hell is going on here?" And we walk in. We have this a Sleestack skull. Wait, what do we have? We have a Sleestack skull and stuff like this. And it finally
just happened to have one of those hanging around.
I just happened to have this.
Who's the better magician?
I know, you should see my Dragon Tales dolls, but that's a whole nother story. But but anyway, so we did photos with him. We gave him some souvenirs, some stuff, and you know, we laughed and giggled a bit. I mean, he's very gruff, you know, and he was known as being a pretty nasty basketball player. And so he finally has, I got to go coach. So he left, and the head of the league came up to Kathy and I and said, "Listen, I got to tell you something. I've known Lambier since he played college ball, and I have never seen him smile this much."
Nice.
So it was nice.
Absolutely. So, who's your favorite Osmond?
Now, the Osmonds were part of the theme song of Land of the Lost, and in the 3rd season, I would go to the Osmonds' apartment house in Santa Monica, and by the Mormon temple, and record songs, because I actually sang some little songs in the 3rd season that were written by the Osmonds.
And they kept coming back into our lives. Like the Crofts did the Osmonds, Donnie and Marie show. I actually danced with Jimmy Osmond on that show. And then Jimmy Osmond was, before the show ever aired, he did this Friday night special where he told everybody what the lineup for the new Saturday morning shows were going to be. And Jimmy was the little host of that.
Yep.
That's such a shame what happened to Jimmy, though. Man, that took him out of the limelight. Man, he looks older than his older brothers. And I mean, I can't explain that, but he's the youngest out of all of them. Damn. Like, man, a stroke is no joke.
Wow.
No pun intended, you know?
Yeah.
But
I didn't even know that he had a stroke.
Oh yeah, no, he's no longer performing or anything. He had to completely retire and walk away.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where that family, like the Kennedys, have seen a lot of tragedy.
Yes, that's so true. Wayne, as you know, of course, passed earlier this year. Loved Wayne.
His son.
Right. And Wayne was one of the main, I think, the writers of the songs that I sang. And I think he was part of the opening theme song. And
what an incredible man Wayne Osmond was. Man, it broke my heart when I heard his passing. It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
But I met the Osmonds several times throughout my life, and each time they were more than complimentary to take pictures and sign autographs, and I loved them immensely. But
They are terrific, and Donnie and Marie are just they are consummate professionals and very
Absolutely.
kind people.
Donnie, pretty much, I learned singing to his albums. Listening to the Osmond Brothers, I was able to actually pick out the harmonies and harmonize.
Wow.
So I could tell each one of them apart. I was like, okay, that's Wayne. That's you guys are still returning to the Lost as regulars. Where are you guys going to be going next?
Wow,
We're going to Pittsburgh.
Yep, we're doing Monster Bash, then we're doing Shore Leave in Lancaster.
In North Carolina.
GalaxyCon, North Carolina. Then we're doing the Star Trek, the big Granddaddy Star Trek in Vegas for a week in August. And we got Bartow, Florida, and we're doing that one. We've got another, I think, in Rhode Island. We have one in Dallas. We started the year with nothing. It was like I'm going, Kathy, I don't know if we're going to do any shows this year. Then suddenly it's just people keep calling, and it's such an honor. Listen, we don't take it for granted. With the raft, and because we haul this raft around with the life jackets and stuff for people getting the raft with us and the slee stack head and the oars, and we scream and go over the waterfall for the photo, because we thought if we're all going to do this together, instead of just everybody coming there spending money and doing a photo, like,
right,
it's like, who cares? Let's go ahead.
No, I was going to say, when you brought up the movie and it could have been this, and they should have used you guys that, and all those things, I was sitting here thinking, maybe we didn't get paid the most, and maybe we didn't get a bigger part in the movie, and it didn't evolve around us. But what we have got from this whole experience is priceless. It truly is. We raised a generation, and then we had the luxury of now going back and meeting all of those kids that sat in front of their TVs and with their bowls of cereal and were watching us. We took the technology, the TV screen away, and now we're playing with them, and they get the biggest kick out of it. We get a big kick out of it. And it's just this full circle, wonderful thing that we get to do. And it's lovely.
Yeah.
Oh man, that sounds like so much fun. That sounds like so much fun.
Yeah.
You guys ever coming back to Central California?
Well, yeah. I mean,
possibly.
Yeah.
I've got to meet you guys now. I mean,
yeah.
This is just the iceberg. I got to give you guys a hug. I mean,
possibly.
I'm still lost.
Well,
I'm
yeah.
still lost. It's okay.
Listen, and that yellow raft, if you go to our Facebook page and take a look, we've had more celebrities in that yellow raft. We had the Brady Bunch cast, Little House cast, we've had
everybody.
Sam
Corey
Jones,
Feldman. We've had
Loretta Swit.
We had Loretta Swit. We've had JJ Walker, and all these people. There's just hundreds of celebrities. But let me ask you this: Are you close to Bakersfield?
I am actually 15 minutes away from Modesto. Bakersfield, yeah, it's about 2 hours away, but I'd still travel.
Because our friend Steve does have a show there. It's a smaller show, but every once in a while we pop in.
Yeah, I would consider coming out to see you guys. But yeah, let me know. Wesley, want to go ahead and plug how you people can get a hold of you?
Sure. If you go to WesleyEure.com, it has access to everything, and way more than you want to know. It has information about Kathy. It has contact information. But we're on Facebook. We're on Instagram at Wesley Eure, EURE, and we're easy to reach.
And if you have my thumbprint, you can come right in.
Oh no.
It took me a second. Like, it's my lock. It's my thumb activated lock outside.
And Kathy Coleman, how will people find you?
Basically the same sort of connection, but I'm on Facebook. I post everything that's going on in my life.
Yeah, and
showbiz wise on Facebook. I don't tell you, look, I'm at the supermarket, because I don't really think anyone cares.
I'm buying hot dogs, damn it, shut up. And some wine.
But I got to tell you one thing that Kathy hasn't mentioned, and it's important. She wrote a book called Run, Holly, Run. It's available on Amazon, or you can buy it at her table, which is actually the best way to buy it, which because you can sign it. But it's an amazing autobiography. It won a bunch of awards. It actually, when it came out, it won the best indie publication of an autobiography that year. And it's a wild ride. Kathy's life has been very interesting, and she has had the courage to talk about it.
Well, consider me a customer who will buy your book. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I want
Put your big girl panties on before you.
Oh, damn it. I'm wetting my drawers already.
Oh, no. 2 pairs.
Well, not 2 pairs, just in case you get a hole in one. Well, I love you guys. Thank you so much for joining me.
Look how small I've looked towards you. Like you're a giant. You're like a giant.
No,
menacing.
I'm not getting any smaller.
I know. Look, you don't. See, now that is so much better.
I have no neck.
Kathy is so much taller than me now. So by the 3rd season, Land of the Lost, she was my height, and she was having to roll up her sleeves on the 3rd season. If there'd been a 4th season, I would have been going, "Run, Holly, run!"
I used to sneak the Slee Stack juice.
Oh, but could those plants have got any
grew. I do have a horn on the back of my head. That's why I always wear my sunglasses.
Do you really?
To hide the horn.
You really do?
No.
Uh-oh. That's it.
That's
yes. Funny. Well, man, thank you guys for joining me today. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you for having us,
Thanks,
John.
We appreciate
it. Kathy, if you can go ahead and accept my friend request on Facebook, I'll be even happier, and then I can keep in touch with you. But yeah, thank you guys so much. God bless you guys, man.
Take care, John. Thank you.
Good night, Dick.
Wait. You have to close the song with the theme song. You ready?
Let's do it.
Theme song of Land of the Lost. You ready? And look all around. I can't believe the things I found. Now I need to find my way. I'm lost. Find me living in the land of the lost. Living in the land of the lost. Sid and Marty Krofft Television Production.